Recording and recording. Music.
Blop blop bleep blop bloop. Hey.
Welcome to Blunt Raps. This is Blunt Raps number 7 now.
Only a couple days late.
So here's what happened.
Hey, we hear though.
Could you turn the music down a little bit?
I could.
We got Mozart playing in the background.
We got vinyl Mozart. Everyone, get your vinyl. It's superior. It's awesome. Highly recommend it.
Jared lost all the audio to podcast number 6.
What?
But
actually?
yes, he did. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna master the audio from the GoPro, and I'm gonna release that instead.
Oh, I thought you were gonna just subtitle it all in.
No. We'll still have it. We'll still have it up, and only our diehard fans will go back and listen to it. Careful with the mic, son. Jeez, Louise, lemon squeezy.
You ain't know how these flames work.
You ain't know how these flames work? Alright, so, tonight we have a show at Cervantes.
Blotter Bunch, that is.
Blotter Bunch has a show at Cervantes. Dom and Senor Gerard, they're coming.
Oh, and then we're coming.
And then they're coming. Alright, I'll start rolling up now.
So wait, so it's a silent disco though, right?
Yes.
So I've never been to one, so I'm pretty much sure. I think you explained it fully last time, but we explained it a little bit better. So it's just it's outside, right?
Could you turn it down a tad bit more, Senor? It's coming in a little loud on here. Okay, so more real low. Don't break it all. He's gonna destroy all the equipment over there. Like, fuck you then.
Do you need some help over there?
Silent Disco's dope because
I don't believe you.
Did you guys buy that or bring it?
He bought it when he was in Cali, and he just got it sent to him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So yeah, Silent Disco. In the inside, they have the main room. They got all the artists playing in there, and it's full volume. But because of permit reasons and zoning issues. Oh, I see. It's the knob. That's perfect. Leave it there. We got some Mozart playing in the background for y'all. So, on the inside they have all the main show. They have all the main artists playing and whatnot. But outside, because of permit zoning issues or whatever, they can't have music blasting outside. So what they do, and I've seen this at festivals, something that they do after maybe 2 a.m. is they'll still have a stage open, but it's all silent disco. That way people can actually fucking sleep. Because they're there for 4 days and they just need a couple hours of quiet. So silent disco is for that. And in this case, it's going to be out on the patio. And they started this just to have some entertainment for people outside smoking, because it gets super hot on the inside. People just chill outside a lot, smoking and smoke weed and whatnot. But now it's become a whole different thing.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. I like it. That's a fun idea, you know?
Yeah.
And especially if you have multiple people going, because you could have people you could simultaneously enjoy a concert with your friend, but have it be different music.
Yeah, and that's the even better part is outside they have 2 silent disco DJs, and you have one set of earphones, so you just switch channels and it goes from us to them. Now it's become a game with us, because usually just DJs.
Yeah, I'm about to let you know.
Yeah.
You better be fucking killing it.
Yeah,
because if the other people are better, I'm gonna listen to them.
No, that's fine. Our whole mission is to get everyone onto our channel, and we usually do. Our set is so solid right now, and we actually.
Oliver,
he
he was trying to hop in. He thought it was a box. You should just move that stand away.
The crazy cat. Ace, come here.
He's like, this box has a moving circle on it. This
box
looks
is
fun.
the truth.
Yeah.
All right, Jared, you get this dab when I get my refill.
So yeah. Anyway, it's gonna be dope. Wait, what were we saying about it?
I was just asking how it works.
Yeah. So there's gonna be 2 artists, and we're definitely gonna get everyone onto our channel. So what the cool thing is about tonight is we have the talent buyer for Cervantes coming to check us out.
Oh.
Yeah, to see what show we would be best to open on, to be a supporting artist to open on. And
how did you get that set up, if I may ask?
Just honestly, going there, just doing the silent disco. This is our 4th or 5th time doing it. And I didn't act like I was real respectful. Like, really, I just sent a submission to do the silent disco. Boom, got that. Went and did a whole one. Didn't, ask anything. Then I started talking to the dude who helped us. He comes out when it's your time and he helps you set up. After like the 3rd time, or 2nd time, I was like, yo, who do I talk to about, submission to get on the main stage, or how does that work? And he's like, oh, talk to Chris. All this took this has been over the last few months, and it's
Of course, yeah.
way patient.
Well,
And then
work.
finally got in contact with Dave, who's a talent buyer, and then so tonight he was like, yeah, I'm gonna come check you out and then see. But we've already been talking about what show would be good to support on, because we want to be supporting artists on the stage, and we want to come. Like, I did it specifically there because I love Cervantes. Like, there's so many talent buyers for every venue. There's like a talent buyer, right? And I've just been going to Cervantes since I was like fucking 15, 16, whatever.
right.
So.
Yeah, it was the first go-to venue. I honestly think it was the first actual venue I went to for a concert.
Yeah.
One time when I was I think 12, there was a concert at my church I went to, and it was super shitty and terrible.
Been there.
Yeah.
But the first time I went to a concert was Brown and Gammon at
nice.
Cervantes, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's why is they always consistently, if it's not hip hop, they got some dope EDM going on.
Yeah.
And they even got some while it's not my style. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I do enjoy some of it, because I remember one time going just with Kalen back in the day, because he was trying to do some business, let's say.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
Yeah.
while we're there was some dude, he was playing 7 fucking instruments. He had this crazy machine, and
was
it
it
was
that one
crazy.
guy?
I don't know.
That's what he's
Yeah.
called.
Yeah, all I know is it's 7 instruments, and and it was dope.
I'll show you video of him
That's
and you
cool
can tell
Yeah,
me
it's
if
probably, if there's another, I can't imagine how many people play 7 instruments at once.
Yeah. So yeah, Cervantes is where. That's what I told him. I was
And I don't know, it's good because it has both sides, venues dope. They have an outside area that's dope, they got that upper, I don't know, it's just the best blend of all the worlds. They have the cheap nights you can go, that was what really drew me to it, was that it's something I could afford to go to a concert every week.
It's always been the cheap, the cheapest.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they sometimes have bigger, more expensive, $50 fucking
Yeah.
tickets
Not
and all
really,
that.
though. 50
Sometimes
Every
on
now and
Fridays
then.
and
Okay.
Saturdays if they have a
Yeah,
bigger
but
name.
Even
Or
so,
Suicide
that's
Boy sells
35,
out.
40.
That was Fillmore.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
If someone
Even
sells
when
out-
they were at Cervantes, they sold it last year.
Yeah, they did.
And
You're
they
right.
ended up getting, they were real expensive right before that happened. But what's cool about Cervantes though, the main ballroom is fucking huge and beautiful, and you cross right to the other side and they have that awesome, gorgeous patio area.
I don't
really
know.
like the
Personally, a
patio
huge
area.
thing I love about the
They'll do, arts and
Cervantes
stuff, events and
is
stuff like that
the other
too,
side.
Yeah.
At least as far as hip hop goes, in my opinion, if you go regularly, there are so many artists that they blow up a year later after opening there.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Little Pump, he played. I mean, whether you like him or not, I personally don't, but he played at Cervantes before he blew up. Ski Mask played at Little Cervantes before he blew up.
Well, a lot
there's
of
so many artists.
What people are saying about Denver is, I've heard this a lot from artists, from big bass dubstep artists and shit. They call Denver the mecca of fucking bass.
Oh yeah, they're great for EDM.
And then not only Denver is a mecca for dub and bass music and whatnot. Cervantes is a big catalyst, and Submission used to be out of Submission, and now they have their own venue, Black Box, which is doing great too. But Cervantes is still there, and that's what I want to come up and do. That's what I was telling him. So, yeah. So that's what's going on now. Listen to a shitload of music.
Oh my god, I don't even know if I can remember all of
Tell
it.
us the best.
Yeah, what
Oh, so the very best, if I had to, because there was alright, so there were 4. One of them I'm not gonna mention because I don't know. He has to prove more worth for what I mentioned on the podcast. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
But the other 3, the very best one, I'll start off with. They all dropped their project the same night. I only knew about 2 of them. No, I only knew about 1 of them, and that ended up actually being my least favorite of the 3. So actually, I'll start with my least favorite then. So Black. I'm not sure if you know his name's Black, but the B is spelled with a 6.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
So he's a really dope artist. I really loved his first album and all that because I don't know, he's a very good blend. Like he's definitely more of like a R&B singer type thing, but he can rap and like he talks a lot about like relationship shit and grinding and all that. But like I don't know, I enjoyed his first album, but I was looking forward to his next shit, especially because like 2 weeks before this album dropped, he dropped this like freestyle, and he was straight rapping the whole freestyle, and it was dope. And I was like, all right. I'm gonna see more of this from him.
And then you don't.
And then I didn't at all. Like, it was still good, but it was mainly singing. Like, it's dope if you're with your chick, I guess, or whatever, and you try to set the mood or, like, whatever. But, like, other than that, I'm probably not gonna play it.
I hate that.
Yeah,
I don't hate that about an artist, but I just hate when, like, you.
Oh, no, I was expecting more
something,
growth,
yeah.
And he played the safe route, is really what it is. And so that disappointed me a little. But he did have a dope song with J. Cole.
Okay.
And J. Cole I will mention again later. But this next one. So Wale. I'm not sure how y'all know about Wale. So Wale, I've had a love-hate relationship for a while. I've loved him back since My Name's Wale or whatever. Like, I was like, alright. And then he did some whack shit. I was like, meh. But then he was on Meek Mill's Ambition. And I was like, yeah. And so, like, I don't know. He's very hit or miss for me. Well, recently, not super recently, but like about a year ago, he got dropped from Atlantic because his last album totally flopped. He tried to like hella cater to the mainstream, and it was bad. He like didn't even do 100,000, and like for his type of caliber, because he came up around the same time as J. Cole. He was supposed to literally be on the rise with J. Cole, be one of those like semi-lyrical, whatever, and I don't know, he just tried to sell out or like cater too much. But a lot of it was because, in my opinion, he was with Atlantic Records. And Atlantic Records, from what I've seen for the most part, kills a lot of rappers' careers.
Really?
Because even Joyner Lucas, who recently signed, he straight up said in a freestyle he did that Atlantic said they wouldn't let him drop an album until he had a hit single. So they are hella, like, Lupe Fiasco was hella known with Lasers. The reason why it got shelved for so long was because he didn't have a hit single.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And so, like, they're very, I mean, I get it to a point. They want a guarantee they're going to make their money back.
Yeah.
But the issue is they sign artists that's not their style of music.
Yeah.
Their issue is that they're not musicians or artists that are trying to...
Yeah, and so they don't care.
That's why all these fucking systems are breaking down. We always talk... This is like mainly what we talk about on this podcast, and that's why also...
No, that's why I think it's always better to take that lesser amount of money, grind, and have to make that, $50K a year, and then eventually be $100 to $200K a year, especially... Because that's the thing, like, Sci-Hi the Prince talks about it. He'd rather make $300K a year doing whatever he wants, doing it his way, than to sign a huge deal, but then you're literally pigeonholed into whatever that label says.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he got dropped from Atlantic. And ever since then, he's kind of been on the come up, in my opinion. He dropped a while back, like a little 3-track thing, and it was dope, and I was like, alright, cool. So he dropped this 5-track EP called Free Lunch. Every single song on it is fucking fire, in my opinion.
Dope.
And he has this one freestyle song with J. Cole again. J. Cole, I don't know, here's the thing I love about J. Cole. He never will let anyone be featured on his album, but he'll fucking feature on everyone else's shit.
And kill it.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't know, they snapped on it. I loved it. It was definitely the best song on the 5-track thing, but like, I don't know, I enjoyed all of it. Wale's definitely on the come up. I'm glad that he's free from being on a label. I hope he doesn't make the same mistake, and he just keeps doing him. But the best album, No Name. Really? Originally known as No Name Gypsy, but she apparently has dropped the Gypsy from her name and just goes by No Name now. And so I'm not sure if you ever heard. Like she has that song with Chance, Let's Get Lost. And that was the first time I ever heard her, and I was like, alright, she's dope.
Yeah.
And then I've heard her on like occasional, and I've always loved it. So hers, like, I don't know, like, she just comes out swinging on the gate, fucking saying some dope ass bars, crazy alliteration, like, just fucking vivid wordplay. It's beautiful all around, like, and I was just upset because I didn't even know about it. Like, no one had told me about it or nothing until like I saw right before I was going to bed. Someone was talking about it on this like Facebook rap thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I can't listen to this now. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah. That's dope. I'm gonna have to check her out. Gypsy No Name.
Well, just No Name now is what she goes by. One word.
One word.
Okay. Word. I'll definitely have to check her out. Do you know who Snow the Product is?
Yeah. Just know the product's dope. No Name is better than her.
She's coming to Cervantes, I think, soon. Oh yeah, so hold on. That's the other part of this thing is what we were talking about, and fucking all right. Digital Planets is coming. You know who that is? They're really dope. You got to see them. But the what's it called? The Reminders are opening up for them. Have you heard of them?
Mm-hmm.
They're dope. It's like a guy and a girl. They're like together, and they make really dope, kind of like reggae, rappy music. It's really dope. I'm definitely catching that shit.
In December, I just saw it was announced. Brother Ali is playing at Cervantes.
Really?
We should go to that 15th anniversary show.
Ooh. What about Anderson .Paak?
I haven't seen anything. I looked it up. You remember we discussed it?
Yeah, and you said you found it.
No, and well, he's up here. I can't remember what that was called. I'll have to re-look it up. But he's like playing a part, but he's not gonna be rapping. It'll be cool to see, but it's not gonna be him rapping.
What other music did you hear?
I was right about NBA YoungBoy.
What about him?
He dropped
Yeah,
a fourth.
yeah, okay,
for
okay.
it was called For What's Important.
Nice.
And it was another 4-track thing. But when he dropped that, he dropped it as a 16-track thing.
Yeah, so it's 4 projects with 4 tracks each.
Yeah, but the very last one he just dropped is all 16 of them all together collectively.
Oh, okay.
Which the only thing I didn't like about that is I only wanted to hear those 4 because I'd already heard
Yeah,
the other
exactly.
12.
That's the best. Yeah, that way.
But I just had to find. I knew which they were called because I was like, oh, I'm seeing it. But the thing that even most impressed me about this, I was telling Jared about. So I don't know how old. It could be about a month old, but even then, it's just crazy. It's so mind-boggling how much work he's put in. So DatPiff, I've told you about it. You need to download it. DatPiff, everyone download it. It is for mixtapes. Any artist can do them and all that. So shit that you can't necessarily put on Spotify or whatever. You know, you can't make money off it, but to get your music out there, people to hear it, promotion and all that. So that's where like Lil Wayne drops all of his dedications and all that. Well, I just found out because I recently went on DatPiff because Spotify, I was kind of dried up on all new music.
Yeah.
And they had another NBA mixtape called We Decided that had another 11 tracks I had not heard before.
From when though? When was
And that's what I'm saying. So it could be like up to like a month and a half, 2 months old, but it was under their highlighted, and they usually only have like recent
shit.
to popular
Yeah.
shit. And it was
Every time.
under their shit. And it was all songs I hadn't heard before. And I usually will hear most NBA YoungBoy songs either through YouTube or another.
So this motherfucker put out 25 songs.
And one of the songs he had was with Trippie Redd, and it was fire. But yeah, so this dude just constantly putting in work, and I like it because I think it's just him trying to stay out of trouble. / he knows like his shit is like, I don't know. It was crazy because like in that last album he talks about his girl giving herpes. In this song he talks about finding out his girl got a train ran on him, and like I don't know, some shit you would never expect a rapper to like
say,
to say and admit to. But I respect it.
Because that's honest.
Yeah.
That's bringing a
Yeah,
lot to
and he
the
straight
table.
talks about in a lot of his
That's
music,
life. Like,
he
hey,
just raps through his pain. He's not gonna let that shit hold him down or fuck him up.
Yeah.
He's gonna rap it out there, get it off his chest, and be him.
Well, I'm glad he's releasing it as projects at least where he's starting to come up with some sort of marketing because there's a slippery slope where some artists release too much.
Yeah. No, for a prime example,
Especially rappers.
have you ever heard of K Reno?
Okay, Reno.
So he is a super underground rapper from South Park, Texas. Super lyrical. I love him. He's a great storyteller. However, his biggest issue is he consistently releases too much music.
Didn't he release like?
No, so this is what I was about to get
albums?
to. No, he dropped 7 albums
7.
in like under 7 days one time. And it was kind of him flexing that he could do so much. But the issue with that is like that's such an oversaturation that you're
Who's
making.
gonna listen to all that?
Well, no, the biggest problem, in my opinion, is you're making your music have to compete with itself
Okay, yeah.
for views. You know, like if someone.
True,
is-
yeah, because if it's 7 different albums, and especially all at once.
That's why I think Young Thug did wrong when he dropped his like 3 albums in like fucking less than a month or whatever.
Yeah. And
Like it's an oversaturation,
Too much.
and then it's competing. It's kind of like how in like politics you can't have 2 Republicans going,
Yeah.
because then votes get split.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's the same with your own music. Like there's just only a finite amount you can listen to and absorb.
Yeah.
And like even myself, and I love listening to new music. If it's more than like 2 I can't listen to more than 2 albums.
It just beeped.
What happened?
Wi-Fi connection lost.
Why?
No clue.
Time out.
Get refreshers or whatever you guys need.
See
to
what
do.
God just did to us, man.
We gotta remember where we are because I have something good to say. Well, we're still recording. Actually, we're still on. I'll just,
yeah, the audio.
Okay, yeah, we'll
Just no
talk
camera
the
for a
video.
second
So,
there.
what were you saying?
I was saying.
Oh, okay. Because I have
oversaturation,
so I have I know a rapper, a local rapper, and fucking, I try to follow him. I try to support as many people as possible. But I just recently had to unfollow him because fucking one, not only there's a difference. Like, I love seeing people put in work. Like, they're always putting in work and shit, and there's like even that can be saturated on how much you show, like, from social media. Like, if you're always like, yo, doing this or that, like, it can get saturated.
Yeah. There's other things you can be doing.
True,
Try to
but
use-
so for him,
Oh, I gotta
especially,
do it with
like,
Wi-Fi.
fucking, he releases so much shit. Not only does he release so much shit, but he keeps promoting shit from, like, his old shit. Like, he just wants to keep making it seem like he's making new music. So at some points, he's, like, promoting his, like, original shit, his past shit, and then
Yeah,
his
and
new
it's
shit.
like-
So after a certain point, I'm like, bro, I don't even know what to click on anymore. And it's like a daily thing, like updating the profile picture, and it's just like a different design that, like, he paid for to have made. Just like, fuck, bro, like, you're focusing way too much on, like, the image of how shit's coming off instead of, like, you know, the music.
Yeah.
And his shit's good too, but it's just like I had to unfollow him. It's saturating my shit too much.
Yeah,
It's like, bro,
overloading you. Yeah.
yeah, like, I heard your shit, like, you're good, you're on your way, but, like, not enough to be blowing my feet up every fucking day. Like,
No, and especially because I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of times, especially for underground artists, that, like, I feel like they feel they're owed too much, or is that everyone
Yeah.
just because they're also underground need to support you?
Yeah.
Because I remember, dude, there used to be this rap group I was in. It was like a rap, like a secret group or whatever.
Yeah.
And I met him on a hip hop page or whatever. And we would either like post lyrics or music we had, but most of the dudes weren't even recording at the time. But and you know, we'd give each other constructive criticism and just talk about it and support each other and all that.
That's dope.
But here's the issue where it started becoming a problem, where I had to finally leave it. So in those private groups and shit, you know, Facebook, it tells you who's seen shit and when they've seen it. And so if someone posted something and you clicked on it and you read it and it saw that you've seen it and you didn't like it and you didn't comment on it, they would comment and tag you and be like, "What's up, bro? If you didn't like it, why couldn't you tell me what you don't like?" And it's like, yo, sometimes I'm just busy at work or whatever, and I glanced at it. I'm not trying to fucking give a full dissertation
That's
review.
a little much. That's a
Or like
little
sometimes I check something, I'm like, it's alright, but like I'm not gonna like or comment on everything I see. That's just
Yeah.
no. If it's significant enough that I want to comment
Yeah.
or like it, I will.
Yeah.
Or if I dislike, but like sometimes no comment. That's how I feel on some shit.
Yeah, that's a little much.
And yeah, and so it just got super
They
toxic.
get
No,
butthurt
and then
at
they
you.
started like trying to make rules. Like you had to at least once a week comment and
Here,
give.
push that one a little more this way.
Huh?
Push it a little more in this way. The
Like the
microphone.
microphone?
Yeah.
This way?
Yeah.
But yeah, they tried to make rules like you
Closer.
have to
Mm-hmm.
give at least 2 reviews a week and all that.
See,
and I was
that-
like, all right, this is my art. You know, this is what I do. Like, and like I understand to a point, you know, having a system and all that, blah blah. But like that, it just became not fun.
See,
and it
that-
seemed like it was like ego stroking.
Yeah.
Especially because 90% of the dudes in there weren't even recording. It was
Yeah.
just them. And like honestly, a huge thing I realized, and that was part of the reason why I didn't use a lot of those raps for a while,
Yeah.
is because that was a lot of shit I posted in there, and so I've grown to hate some of it.
What?
No, some of it I love now, but
yeah.
just because shit always, like I
Damn,
said,
they expected
looks
you
better.
to read everyone's rap.
That's what I'm
and shit,
saying.
bro.
Yeah, it became a chore.
See, that's fuck, man.
No, and
That's
some of those dudes were like so lyrical, miracle, like they were just trying to rhyme every single
every
word.
single word, yeah.
And I was like, I can't even decipher. Like, it sounds cool,
Yeah.
but I have no idea what it means. And then they would like explain it, and I'm like, okay, I could see how from what you said that's what you were, but at the same time, there was no way I would have came to that conclusion on my
Yeah,
own.
you kinda-
I feel like you just made that up with what you said after you wrote it.
You gotta
Like,
baby
oh shit,
people
what does
sometimes.
it mean? Panic.
Mhm.
And like, and so,
Well, they probably knew in their mind, but sometimes there's a fine line. You gotta like baby people too. You gotta cater them to your
Yeah.
ideas. You can't just come out like flipped upside down computers and shit just because.
no,
like,
straight up Eminem, a prime example. Because
Wait, did
let's
you
transition
delete-
to
did
Eminem.
You delete the. You did it. That's why.
Still saved. No, I deleted everything off.
Oh,
before.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right on.
So transition to Eminem talk here.
Yes.
Because so Eminem, for the longest time, here's the thing I think a lot of people don't realize.
Yeah. Sure.
Eminem's always held back his lyricism.
Yeah. Hold
Like-
on, I have my GoPro in my car. Should I grab it?
No, I'm just gonna unplug it. I think it's just overheating from being plugged in. But it has to have battery life, so it should last this time.
Oh, okay, word. Eminem.
So, he's always been a dope lyricist, but
Yeah.
he's definitely held it back. I feel you didn't
Yeah.
really start seeing his lyricism until later on.
Hold on, this is something we disagreed on last time, and I still disagree.
No.
Yes, I fucking agree, and this is why.
Why?
Because remember, I pulled up fucking "Kill You." I pulled up fucking.
No,
We Pulled-
no, those are dope.
What do you
but
mean
like,
held back?
no,
No,
I mean, no. As far as
no.
what he's saying, he was
Uh-huh.
way more aggressive
Oh,
back
okay,
then.
you-
No, I mean as far as like technical skill, he's held back because
No!
yes, listen,
Okay.
listen.
Okay, all right, you tell me.
Because that lyricism is not as mainstream appealing. Prime example, his Kill Shot. A lot of people are saying that they prefer MGK's because it has the chorus and you can listen to it on the radio more. Technically, Eminem destroyed him because every single bar was a punch. There was way more clever lyricism and complex shit going on.
So okay, you're saying that now he
As
cares.
complexity. No, he's always cared,
Uh-huh.
but he's held back on it because he knows, for example, he talks about people don't catch
Turned
it.
off.
You know, they don't realize that he's doing whole fucking sentence bar schemes, or that he has that clever wordplay, or
That
like
is
that
not
R. Kelly. Yeah, he hasn't done it as
true.
much. It's way more
Okay,
prevalent
you're right.
now.
Okay, no,
or at
but-
least he tries. He
Okay,
presses it more.
I will agree that maybe he went away from it for a while, but when he first came up, you would have to listen to his song multiple times to he was given it to
I think he was
so
more
raw.
focused on his narrative. In
Yeah,
his
I mean,
younger
no.
years.
So he was
As in, like, being controversial,
Oh, no, okay,
as in fucking saying crazy badass
I
shit.
think this goes deeper than fucking what he was trying to do, and it goes more towards like, okay, so there's Busta Rhymes or like Tech Nine. Tech Nine.
I'm saying, like, before, like, back in the day, like, Eminem's always expressed his emotion and talked all that, but before it was more focused raw on the emotion and his life and his storytelling and whatever, and now, while he does talk about all
He
that,
would not
he's
have-
more focused on flexing his skill. That's why you get the Eminem Robotic Flow 5000.
Yeah,
He
okay.
never tried to do that back in the day because he didn't care about that. He was trying to do more of his life and express it. Now, at this point, I think he's just trying to cement his GOAT status.
I will say that back in the day, what he was doing was to the best of his ability. I don't think he was holding back. I think he was doing the best he could, and that's why he shocked the world. And I think now he's just 10 times more like a professional in his whole.
No, he's always been this skilled.
No, I don't think.
Yes,
I
no,
think the
I'm
only
saying-
way for him to rap like
No,
he
I'm just
rapped-
saying, like, even for example, with a lot of his disses, because a lot of his disses back in the day were more mainstream playability, he could have done way more savage disses, but they wouldn't have had as much mainstream review. So I think he held back a little on them to have that more of a replay back.
No,
So, prime
I
example,
didn't-
Bully.
Yes, yes.
That was a kind of a bully. He wouldn't have done that otherwise.
Uh-huh.
That was to help fucking not only
help-
bury them,
uh-huh.
but to help build his career.
Okay, yes, I do agree with that, but I
Compared to now, that's why I'm saying a lot of
Oh,
people,
okay,
while
I-
they're
I-
hating
I
on
guess, okay.
Killshot,
Yeah.
he's not trying to make a hit. He doesn't care about making a hit.
Yes.
He knows the song's going to get millions of views
Okay,
already.
I see what you're trying
He's
to say.
trying to
I see
techni-
what you're right.
Yeah, that's
I
what
see
I'm
what
trying
you're
to
right.
say.
So back when Bully came out, or that song where they completely destroyed Ja Rule, they had dope ass chorus. Like they had to make it a hit too. He didn't just come out raw dog like he did on the Kill Shot.
And that's why it upsets me that so many people underrate Killshot.
because it didn't have a
It's
chorus.
straight punches the whole way through.
Every single
It's
line.
like straight up at fucking
100%.
Manny Pacquiao just came out the whole fucking time, but you're like, ugh. He didn't knock him out though. He beat the shit out of him the whole time
It
though.
was 100% knockout. That shit was dope. A lot of people disagree.
Anyone who
More
disagrees,
people
I just
agree.
think they're not a true hip hop fan. They're a casual listener, and I understand from a casual listening point, if you just skim through hip hop, I could see people trying to prefer MGK.
Or someone.
But if you're a true student of hip hop and understand how beef works, how battle rap works, how all of that works, and you truly analyze it,
yeah.
if you were to even take the names out entirely and just look at all of the disses
Yeah.
back and forth, M not only has more disses, he has the more clever disses, he has a fucking better wordplay, like...
Yeah. Or just someone maybe born after a certain era, because I know when like a Biggie Pac like competition or like people talking about that shit, like I have really so little to say because I was before like my time. I have a lot to say about Eminem though and 50 Cent and all, but like maybe isn't there like an era of kids who just like that's not their era, therefore they're just like
Yeah, all they care
outside.
about is what's more catchy and
or just like what they know, and maybe
Yeah.
they've known MGK since they were like in middle school, which is when I discovered Eminem. You know, rolling like before middle school, actually like elementary school, like 6th grade, yeah, for sure. Like fucking rolling around listening to the Eminem show.
dude, Eminem, man, I've been a fan of him. So I want to say it was around like second, because my memory, you know, I don't really have that good of a memory before 3rd grade, to be perfectly honest. A lot of that, I don't know.
What
weed,
about
whatever.
after 3rd grade, dog?
I mean, decently after 3rd grade.
okay.
That's what I'm saying. So that's the earliest memory I remember of really like being influenced by hip hop. I remember the very first album, first song I ever memorized all the way through was Chameleonaire's Riding Dirty. And it was because my uncle, rest in peace David, who I have my rap name after, Des, because was his initials.
Oh hell yeah.
But he made a
There's-
mixtape. He
yeah.
made a mixtape for me, and he had a rule. He said he would make me a mixtape every week if I could recite at least one song off the mixtape, word for word for him, to show me that I listened to it.
Yeah.
And so the first song I ever memorized, word for word, was Chameleonaire's Riding Dirty.
That's rad.
But Eminem was like my uncle's like favorite rapper. Like my uncle was a white boy. His hair was naturally blonde already.
Yeah.
So like he I don't know. He just idolized the fuck out of him. So like.
Yeah, that's hilarious. My cousin, that reminded me of my cousin. One time me and my cousin were chilling. We used to come up with the dumbest games in the world, but like for some reason we got into this game where like I had to memorize all the fucking lyrics to Weird Al Yankovic song. So it was like a rap song, but it was like a it was like a parody rap song.
yeah.
And fucking
He's honestly the GOAT to ever do parody raps. He really is.
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
No one's done it as good as him.
yeah, he's a legend. Who else even?
There's people who try. Rucka
Well,
Rucka Ali.
I like Bo Burnham.
Rucka Rucka Ali does a lot of them, but his are really racist.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard
Like
him.
like he does one to fuck, what's it? I got a feeling, but it's I'm a Korean. He has one called Go Cops, and it makes fun of the Kesha song Don't Stop.
Who else does it like professionally? Ace, come here, buddy.
There's this other guy. I don't remember his actual name, but his first name is Brett, and he does a lot of ones. Like he did one for like Tekashi. He did one for Eminem that was kind of funny.
Oh, I think I saw that one.
Yeah, the one where he's like just dissing everything.
Yeah,
like some
dissing
random guy.
everything,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that guy's kind of good. He's
Yeah.
hit and miss. Sometimes his are really
I
stupid.
like Bo Burnham, and Bo Burnham is really
Hands down though,
That thing turned off again.
Weird Al's the best.
Jared.
Well, Burnham has very good theatrical
word.
performance though for it.
So what?
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
oh,
very
I mean,
racist
Bo
by
Burnham is
itself.
more than just that though. He's just
He's a
he's a straight up
producer.
comedian
He
who
did, wait,
makes
hold
music.
on. He did something really big recently. I'm pretty sure this is correct, but he directed fucking
Oh yeah, the multimedia or whatever.
Chris Rock's comedy special.
Oh, okay. we're
I
talking
think
about
he
two different
directed-
things.
Oh, real quick before I forget, because we were on Eminem.
Uh-huh.
You won't know this, but Jared knows, and hopefully our fans know. 5 people who watch, but so on Eminem's album, I can't remember which song, but on one of the songs in Kamikaze, everyone thought he sampled this one anime or this one show, but they were false.
Oh.
He actually sampled this super obscure, not super obscure, but like only if you're an anime fan you would know, Tokyo Ghoul, which is a super dope anime, super popular,
Okay.
and that's what he sampled it from
That's right.
for a song. And
That's
he
super
straight
rad.
talked and commented on how he really appreciates the Japanese culture and like the music they make and all that. So Eminem's over here sampling Japanese anime for his motherfucking music, which is so dope, and I need to do that now.
There you go. See, I told you to get up on some sort of DAO, or what is it, DAW, whatever the fuck they call it. Get on Logic, get on Ableton, get on one of the programs, and stare at it. Just fucking stare at it. I promise you, eventually it'll start to make sense. Like, you just stare at it long enough, fuck around with enough things.
I mean, that's how vaginas worked for me the first time.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. And
Trust me, I tried some weird things at first. None of them worked, but once it worked, it worked.
Yeah. And we'll be back with more Bibles.
I remember one time when I was in high school,
Yeah.
there was this kid handing out miniature New Testament Bibles
Yeah.
to all the people leaving,
Yeah.
and I walked home, so he gave me one. I proceeded to use. They had a couple pages in the back that were blank. to roll like my first joint ever.
Oh yeah,
It was great.
I've rolled
So my first
multiple.
joint ever was with miniature Bible papers.
Yeah.
Was that
Miniature
cool
too.
Yeah, it was it was like perfect paper size. And we smoked in this little tunnel thing. Like it was a sewer tunnel weird thing, but it was like clean of course. Right near the school. And then I was super high that like all sounds were like way louder to me.
Man, you
And
just
so people
reminded
would
me.
whisper.
You reminded me this time. Fucking, I got so high in like middle school that I walked somewhere. I ate like a whole bag of Doritos on the way, but like family size, of course.
I assumed.
And it was only yeah, so it's only like a 20-minute walk, but we get there and I'm in a whole different world the whole time. I'm like, fuck, this is crazy. Like you know those like early highs where you're just following.
Yeah, well you're just fucking like
Dude,
trying to
all-
hold on.
all following people, like just eating like fucking the weirdest shit. And then I got somewhere, I remember some kid like asked me if I wanted to get jumped into a gang, and I was so high, and I was like negative, like on that for sure. And then immediately just started like plotting a way to like get out of the situation. I was
Yeah.
so high,
No.
and I was just like, what in the hell? Like I'm not trying to fucking do this shit right now. And then I don't even remember what happened after that. I was high as fuck. Those early highs, man.
Dude, probably the most scariest high I ever had on weed was freshman year, midterm finals, whatever. So it was like our last day. So it was a half day because all we had to do was take finals, and then we got to
Yes.
go home. So we did the finals, and then
Yes.
it was like one of the very first times like I had bought weed. Like before that, I just mooched and like smoked with
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
But it was the first time I had bought my own weed. So I was
that's
like,
too
yeah.
much weed to have. You're gonna
Yeah,
get
I had
sick.
an eighth of weed, and that was too much already. And so I had made a plan with a couple friends and all that, that we were gonna go meet up and smoke on this hill right after the stuff because
Yeah.
my parents didn't know that we had a half day and all that, and I
Yeah.
walked home. So
Yeah.
and so
Nice.
we met up there, and here's the issue: they yelled at me because I used to wear fucking a giant red New York hat. I don't know. I've never been to New York. Not a
Yeah,
fan of any
you
New York
just
teams.
wearing a fucking
It just
hat.
looks cool to me.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yo,
Oh,
Dom,
so you
take
like
that
me,
hat
dog.
off. It's
That's
way
why
too
you
bright."
just- yeah.
And I was like, "Okay." And so like we're on top of this hill, and we literally just chiefed like I think there were 4 of us, so we chiefed like 4 bowls. Like we each pitched a bowl, and we just rapid smoked them.
Hell
And
yeah.
that was pretty much the most I had ever smoked because before that I was always mooching.
Yeah,
So I was lucky
of
if I
course.
got a couple hits off
Yeah.
maybe 2 bowls.
Yeah.
This time I was getting 3 to 4 hits off each bowl 4 times.
Yeah.
And so I'm just lit as fuck. And I'm trying to walk home, and I'm in this big leather jacket, and it's wintertime, but I'm just heating up hella, but I can't take it off because I don't want to carry it. And like I'm trying to listen to music, but all of the music just sounds like screamo music in my head. Like everything's just like in my head. So I'm like, nope. And like I'd also just
been
bought
there.
my
I've
first
been there,
pack
yeah.
of smokes, like
Uh-huh.
that I owned. Like again, I'd always
How
just
old
bought
were
it.
you?
I was freshman year, so 15.
Just getting into it early. All right, go on.
And I was like, I want to smoke, but I was too paranoid, and I was like, nope. And I got home, and only my grandparents were home because they were living with us at the time. But I was like, nope, I can't even interact with them. So I then went up into the bathroom, and I just chilled in the bathroom for what ended up being an hour. I didn't even realize it was an hour. Just kind of calm down. I was like, all right, I'm good. And then I went to my room, and I passed out for 2, woke up still high as fuck,
Yeah.
and played video games with my brother until dinner time.
Hell yeah. Those early highs.
And no one got hurt.
No
Nothing
one
bad
got
happened. It was really scary.
Yeah,
For
I-
a minute, when I was walking home, I was so high. I was like, I should just quit smoking. I should just throw all this away. This is terrible.
Yeah.
I'm freaking out. But once I chilled out, it was the best time
You
ever.
ever thrown away drugs?
No.
I haven't. I know a lot of people who have. Actually, let me.
Okay, the only exception,
See,
one time
yeah,
when
yeah.
I was doing drugs behind my ex's back, and I was in the bathroom about to take a shower, but I didn't lock the door because I didn't want to lock the door and be suspicious, you know,
Yeah.
that I locked the door because it was just her home.
Yeah.
And I was trying to do a line before I got in the shower, and then she, like, was about to come in, and so, like, I threw a towel over it and was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I did, like, or whatever, and got a bunch of spit on her accidentally, and then she was like, and she ran away. I was like, all right, cool. But then sadly, the drugs fell onto the fucking floor, and it was right near the toilet.
Oh my god.
So
One
I
time-
just had to wipe them off. But
One time I had a fucking powder hill on this card. Just young kid shit, bro. I was in school. Like, we were in the bathroom and shit. It was me and my buddy. And we're sitting there, and there's, like, a huge little white hill on this card that we had on, like, a school ID card, too, right? We have it there, and then fucking some kid walks into the bathroom, and we had the air, the air on, or my buddy was sitting there acting like he was drying his hands, so he had the air on, and then like some kid like came in or whatever. The thing was still going, and I turned to look, and it caught right under the air, and within an instant,
Oh my God,
it
no!
was gone out of sight, and we just like, there's nothing we could do. The kid came in, like we were just sitting there, we were just like, I think we said something mean to the kid too, like went to piss, we were like fucking asshole or something.
Yeah. We put a little more in it, chaser-wise.
It was the most horrible day of my life.
That sounds pretty sad.
Nah,
I remember
it was
one
just
time I got me and my buddy, we helped these people clean out an apartment, or no, a house basement that was rented out, and they were growing weed in there, and they weren't supposed to be. But so they had a bunch of like fucking like, what was the leftover like plants that were like dead or whatever.
Yeah.
But on one plant we found like 1 like gram worth of nugs.
Yeah.
And so my buddy like split it with me, and this was back when like I had no tolerance. I was like, yeah, I'll be able to get hella high off this. And I put it in my pack of smokes, but I only had like 2 cigarettes left in it, and it was just like in the top part. And I smoked those 2 cigarettes while I was at work, and I threw the pack away. And then halfway, by the time I got home, I was like, and I straight up ran all the way back and tried to dig through. It was already gone. Already. So either someone changed it. Yeah, it was so sad. So sad.
I told you about that time. I had an ounce in this bag, and fucking I got in my car and I drove like all the way somewhere, and I was so high, and then I got there and I was like, what? Where's the bag? Like I literally just had it, and like I was looking around my car, and then I drove all the way back to the spot where I was, and I was rolling up in the street. It'd been like an hour already since I'd begun in the middle of the day in a neighborhood with kids fucking playing outside, and the bag was still sitting there in the middle of the street. Just laying there, and it was a see-through like sandwich bag with an ounce like stuffed in it. So it like was if you looked at it, like all you could think was, oh, that's a big bag of weed. Like it didn't. There was no. I don't know how the fuck, but it was still there.
There was one time there was this like area we would smoke at in high school that like had a bunch of rocks in the area near.
Yeah.
And these kids, I don't know what happened. Like they had to go to class or whatever, and the kid was all paranoid, didn't want to bring it with him, so he hid it underneath some rocks.
Yeah.
Went to class. Well, it then proceeded, because you know how Colorado does, to randomly fucking snow all crazy.
Yeah.
We ended up getting a blizzard or whatever, and it was pretty much buried, and like he straight up like didn't even know where to look, and so dude had to wait straight up like 2 months for the snow to melt. But then he went back there, and it was still there.
Oh my god. That's dope.
And then we had another kid one time. They were really stupid, and at DC, there was like a highway right next to it. And so once we started running out of like smoke areas to like smoke at, because all the fucking kids would fuck up and the areas would start getting, surveillance a lot and all that.
Yeah.
We realized you could just go underneath the highway, and there was like a little tunnel.
Was this Arvada?
No, this was in Castle, Douglas County High School.
Okay.
I
didn't know you went to DC.
Yeah, that was where I got expelled from.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. DC.
Remember when I introduced you? I was like, oh yeah, y'all went to high school together, and you were like, I don't know you.
Oh yeah, that's funny. What year were you there?
Well,
were you there
no,
in
that was
2010?
No, I that was my freshman year, was 2010.
And you weren't there yet.
No, I was there, but only for half the year.
Oh, okay. What, the second half?
No.
I was
Second-
there for the first half, and then I got arrested.
Oh, I was there for the first half, but I didn't smoke the first half. The very first year I was in high school,
Yeah.
I should have, all I did was play basketball in the gym and
Dude,
do all that. I got cut from the team,
Yeah.
not even because of my skill,
Yeah.
but because of my home life. My stepdad would always make me have to be home to babysit. And one time during like fucking, open gym practice or whatever, I asked the coach if I could go home early because I had to babysit. And so he was like, I can't have someone on my team if like, they're gonna be like, hey, I can't play the game or I can't go, I have to babysit. And I get that. It just sucks because I was like, what the fuck, man?
Damn, bro, but it's possible you and me like bump shoulders.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like we, you know what? Like we probably did. Like
DC's
I'm
not
sure
that big of a
I'm
school.
sure there was some point in time that you guys smoked.
But yeah, so I didn't really do any of that. It
what
was
if you really kid I threw a tomato at?
no one threw
Did
no
you have a
tomatoes
tomato
at
in
me.
your eyeball? Gosh. And then no, okay. Right on.
No, not once.
Okay, sure.
But no, and then there was a couple dudes who I played basketball with, and then after freshman year, basically some kid, because we used to just play, by ourselves, no supervision.
Yeah.
And some kid, when we told him that we play rough street ball and shit gets hardcore, and he was like, "Oh, I'm fine," but he was a little pussy ass kid, and he ended up getting a concussion, and his parents freaked out,
Yeah.
and they complained to the school.
Oh,
So
my
then
God.
the school board told the teachers that we weren't allowed to play basketball unless there was someone supervising us.
What?
And obviously the teachers don't want to have to watch us before
So
their
they
shift
just-
actually starts. So they started locking down the gyms, pulling the hoops. Dude, I would sneak in. I would purposely jam the fucking doors
Bro,
so I
it's
could
like
sneak in.
it's like
They-
your
so they-
whole what the fuck? It's like your whole childhood was against you to play like sports.
No, and that was the thing. So I straight up sarcastically one time when they kicked me out, and the person threatened that if they caught me again, that they were gonna put me suspend me or throw me in detention. I was like, well, I guess now that I don't have sports influence in my life, I'm gonna have to resort to drugs.
Yep.
But so I had no one to hang out with, because that was all the people. So the people who I played ball with, there was a couple of them who they were stoners, and so oh, you want to hang out? And so I wasn't even smoking yet, but I was just hanging out with them, and then. You know how it is, when you're in, those areas and you're not smoking and they're with... People kind of treat you all weird and they thought I was, some snitch or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, fuck that. Give me that shit. And that's when I started smoking.
Yep. See, and it was the
And
school.
so straight up, if I'm not even exaggerating, it's not me trying to make excuse or nothing. If they had just let me fucking play basketball, I would have stayed I would have been alone. I would have done it by myself.
Yeah.
Because that was just what I cared about doing. I had fun with it.
Yeah.
Whatever. And that was my dream. But because
Well,
they literally forced it
yeah.
against me.
Make no mistake about it, Dom was gonna try drugs.
Yeah. But I would have maybe waited to college.
Yeah.
I would have done steroids instead. That's all.
He would have started out with steroids
Yeah.
instead.
But I don't know. That's what just
That's-
made me mad is I definitely was not actively trying to go down that road. But I don't know. They kind of forced my hand a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit at the very least.
Yeah.
So,
I remember
fuck
I
DC.
basketball instead.
Yeah. I remember I came back to class one time and fucking... I walked in and fucking... I used to leave every lunch to go, smoke or do something, right? Or at least go eat off campus. But I came back one time and I was so high. And I came into science class and I sat down. And my teacher was like, "Mr. Doorball, where were you at just now?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm late." I was 10 minutes late. I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm late. I shouldn't have been late." And he was like, "Yeah, well, where were you at? You seem to always, something has happened. You're late, more frequently than not." And I was super high, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I was late. I shouldn't have been late. I won't be late again or whatever."
Right.
And he was like, "Yeah, but where specifically? Where were you coming from? What were you doing?"
All up in your business.
Yeah, and I was like, I have no excuse. I should have been here. I'm so sorry. I should have been here. And he starts getting aggravated and shit, and just kept asking me where the fuck I was, and I was like, I wasn't raised to give excuses. I don't give excuses. I have no excuse. I should have been here. And he was so yeah. And this kid started getting in on it too. This kid fucked it up. He was fucking. He was like, yeah, he doesn't have to tell you. He's telling you he has no excuse. He should have been here. And it turned into this whole thing. And I was looking at this kid yo, bro, don't make this fucking. I'm just trying to peacefully be I'm sorry I was not here.
Right.
I will be here in the future. Please stop looking at me. And fucking he just wouldn't drop it. I forget what happened.
You should have told some
You
crazy,
probably-
yeah, man, I was just, stealing shirts at the PacSun in the mall.
Yeah, just told
I was a
him
little
something
late.
ridiculous.
Security had to chase us down. We got away,
Yeah.
though. Do you want a shirt, man?
Yeah,
$40.
for real. I was super
I'm selling
paranoid
them,
though.
flipping
I was
them.
sitting there high as fuck. What the fuck? This blunt wraps.
Blunt wraps.
Do you have those matches still?
Fuck yeah.
Dom, any other music you saw?
No, other than Lil Wayne's about to drop his Carter 5. Jid's about to drop his next album. That was heavily influenced by Mac Miller.
Yeah.
And
Man,
MGK is about to drop an album on the 21st too, which makes me hella more suspicious that they're all in on it. Because I'm not sure if you knew this. MGK indirectly is signed to Interscope.
Okay, yeah, but fucking everyone comes out with the album hopefully every year anyway. Like that's
Yeah,
not-
but he just dropped an album. He's clearly obviously smart enough to recognize that this is the best time for
Maybe-
clout and all that.
yeah.
But apparently, so someone was, I can't remember what it was, but it was some evidence or whatever that showed that MGK had like the rights to the name Rap Devil or whatever already fucking exclusive to him 6 months ago.
Well,
It just makes me think this was a little more plotted than fucking people realize.
hold on, is that true? How true is that?
I have no way to prove it.
Yeah, where'd you hear that? Like that was
The fact that MGK had the name Rap Devil already reserved 6 months ago, and
wait,
like
hold up. Who's-
like copyrighted, like he couldn't have it.
Wait,
and that's what I'm
hold
saying.
up.
I have no idea how reputable, but on the rap group I'm with, people were claiming that he already had that fucking claim, and the same guy is credited on both songs with helping at least a little bit. The same producer, that's suspect, and the fact that they're both technically under Interscope. It just makes me wonder. It's just awfully convenient. It helps him a lot because it helps revive his career a little. I'm not saying he needed reviving, but he definitely needed, like, after revival, he needed a little bit of an up, something. And you can't deny this doesn't help it. Without a doubt, this helps Eminem's career because that's all everyone's been talking about as far as hip hop goes, really.
Okay, there's no way to prove what you're saying, but if it was possible,
I'm just saying, I predict on the 21st when MGK drops his album, that's when we're gonna get his response to him.
I agree, but I'm just saying, if everything you're saying, if this huge conspiracy theory is true, then that would have to mean that Eminem came up with it when he was coming up with Kamikaze and was picking out the people he was gonna go after, and specifically got a hold of them and
Yeah.
told them that fucking it was coming down the pipe, that it was coming, that he was like somehow it got, and then that's when MGK reserved it, not that he
Or here's the other thing
what,
that
they met
that would
up
make
in
me
a
happy.
room?
No, that would make me more happy and less upset is that MGK had this diss in reserve for him and was hoping, and that MGK back in the day when he did that with that Haley thing, that he was hoping to get a rise out of him.
Oh, okay.
That
so,
he was
okay.
purposely trying to do it
Right.
to help propel his own career.
Right, so he...
And I could see MGK, like, I don't know if he's that smart, but that would be a smart thing to do.
So he reserved the name. So, okay, so if after he made the tweets, and after Eminem came out
Or
with
just
Rap
in
God-
general. No, pretty much what I'm saying is after he got, banned from Shade 45 or whatever,
then that's
he
when
just initially
started.
made the diss, but he just kept it in
Kept
tow
it.
and was like,
That's how
I'm
he-
not going to start the diss.
That's how he came
but if
out with
M,
it so fast.
Yeah, hands down. He had to have part of that out or prepared.
Yeah.
That's the only way you come out with a diss like that with a chorus
I
that
disagree.
fast. Of MGK's caliber.
I disagree.
Of an MC of MGK's caliber,
Nah,
yes.
what do you- I'm
He's
like,
not.
bro, anyway.
He's not that good.
Okay, even if he's not that good, if you sit down from fucking the minute you hear it to the minute you release it, and you
But he
fucking
didn't.
work your
He was
ass off-
shown popping champagne, being all happy.
That was
Because that's
Charlemagne.
huge. No, that was MGK. There's a video of MGK popping champagne in a bathroom, like playing the song, and that's why M
MGK?
references it in the song.
I thought, okay, but didn't someone else do that too?
I don't know.
I thought, oh, okay, so I'm mistaken. Well, fuck, because that line gives me chills every time when he says fucking pop your bottle, like, this is your moment, enjoy
Yeah.
it, like, that shit gives me chills, because you're just like, damn, like, fucking...
Yeah, that's what he's saying to him. Yeah. So I definitely and that's what I'm saying. I want to believe that it was just MGK capitalizing on it, but I'm suspect that
They're not sitting in a fucking conference room
They're not
talking
necessarily
about
that,
this
but
bullshit.
I definitely could see him contemplating being like, yeah, this is a good guy to go after. Because M made it a point, if you watch the interviews, to say that he would never go after Drake. He's smarter than that. He knows that would hurt his
But
image.
no, he said it was because of a personal favor too, and Eminem has a lot of respect. Like, that's the only reason all this shit happened in the first place. Is because Eminem comes from an era where you fucking had respect, and if you didn't, expect like a fucking thing. And that's what just happened recently with Russ's group and fucking what's his name, where that fool got his ass beat. And then as he's getting his ass beat, he's saying it's jokes. Like, no, like, yeah, it's not. And that's what Eminem was referencing in the fucking interviews. He's like, what happened to the respect, pretty much? Cause fucking he even says it in a song. He's never mentioned Suge Knight, and that shit's huge. Like, people don't understand how huge that is, because he was, like, one of the first next class of rappers after all that shit went down with Pac and Biggie, and he never said that shit. He never vocalized it, which is a big deal. But all these other motherfuckers, Tyler, the Creator, like, you could you could chalk it off to him being young, which is what Eminem said, but he put those in words. Like, he put it down on Twitter and said that Eminem's new shit was trash. Which is like, where's the respect? And I didn't even know that Tyler, the Creator, and the whole group were on tour with Eminem at some point. Like, that makes it even a little more fucked up in my point of view. I still like Tyler and all of them, but like, who does that? Like, if I got that opportunity, I'm a rapper. Like, if I was there, like, I wouldn't the next year.
You don't like an album, though, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily dissing.
True, but
artists
to
as
vocalize it. Like, you can
He
think
could
whatever
no,
you
because
want,
it made it
but
a point, and then you just say you could personally hit him up and be like, "Yo, I thought that talk to him or whatever," before saying your shit.
And that's the whole point I'm trying to make. It's like, people are lacking manners today. People are being like, I'm the same way. Like,
Well, no, especially with M's caliber, in the sense like, if he's gonna be cool with you, you should probably at least.
It's less about that. Just have respect for the people you work with, at least. Like, I'm not gonna go on tour with someone for a whole fucking summer or whatever show,
and then the trash on their album
the next year.
Yeah.
I don't care how trash it is. I'm always supporting people around me. I'm really never really
but I will say, at least a little separate from that, from Joe Budden, I will say, at least it seemed from what I saw on Everyday Struggle and before all that, he definitely tried to avoid commenting on M's album, and he tried not to, but he was just hella pressed on it, because that's what's gonna happen when someone you're hella affiliated with, who's a big name, drops something. So I feel like Budden definitely tried to avoid it, but at the end of the day, he couldn't compromise his own word.
There's a simple solution to that. Have their back. The fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I'm not gonna fucking talk sour about you guys next year because your fucking album, you guys started doing a bunch of drugs and the shit was trash or whatever the fucking case may be. I'm always there. If people come up to me and ask me like, the fuck happened to Jay Lost Prophet and Dez, like, they're fucking shit, like all the prostitution accusations and the fucking all this, that, and the other, I'm gonna be like, yo, fucking don't ask me about none of that. They're my homies forever, like, no more. Like,
and I agree. That's what Joe Budden should have done.
Yeah, there's a simple solution to that, and it's just lack of manners.
Yeah, no, lack of loyalty.
Lack of loyalty
is how I feel.
Well, fuck loyalty. You could end a loyalty with someone, but you still have to have manners. Fucking manners. Or you end up getting socked, like fucking.
No, I mean, I disagree to a point. Like, when you're literally someone like helped your whole career and signed, like, that, you definitely are indebted to them to fucking hell. Like, even though he talks about, inception, obviously he couldn't carry it, and even though he wants to, because that was the thing I really appreciate when he talked about it more on the interview, is how he wants to help their independent careers.
Oh yeah, always 100%. Just,
but
when the interview started to really break down.
And that's why I always respect, because everyone always criticizes how M doesn't have a lot of them like features on his albums.
Yeah.
But here's the thing:
he's trying to build them up.
He wants them to build up their own shit. By featuring them, you're gonna carry on their name, by the features, but that's not helping their career.
And that shit's hard to do. Like, Eminem needs to
because it dilutes his name.
Exactly, it needs, and it not even dilutes, but he needs to focus on coming out with 100% what he wants to put out. And any other, like, people coming up to him like, why don't you should have D12, you should do this and that. Like, all that is just bullshit.
like prime example. How many songs does M have out of an album that fit with Bizarre? One, maybe.
Yo, but did you hear what he said too? He said they can't make a D12 album because of the climate.
Yeah, because everyone's pussies.
You can't have
Do you know the shit D12? If you ever want to hear some raunchy ass shit, go listen to D12.
Bizarre is one of my favorite rappers.
Dude, he's one of my idols. Because he's not afraid. He talks about raping his pit bull and having to have it get an abortion.
Yeah. He doesn't say the word rape, but
he implies it.
Oh, this kid.
I don't remember that one.
Learn.
It's amazing.
Iron. D12, man. Crazy shit.
It's amazing. I don't know. He inspires me because literally I say some controversial shit, but I love it because I don't know. In my opinion, the reason why I say controversial shit is because so often with a lot of music, people don't really pay attention. They just, oh, it sounds cool or catchy, la la la.
Yeah.
But like
Fucking bump.
when you say some crazy ass shit, then people have to pay. They're like, wait, what the fuck did he just say?
Right.
Yeah, and I growing up with Bizarre always let me know that those boundaries have been crossed way more than him.
Exactly.
So I feel
So I
comfortable.
can say shit where I'm literally like
He's a pioneer.
innuendo implying
He's a
rape.
fucking pioneer. He's a fucking pioneer.
I love Vince Staples. He has a song with
Aw,
Speak.
Vince Staples.
Where he talks about how there was not a bitch that he doesn't want to fuck, or he's like, or I might not rape. But he's like, not really, but I thought about it, and you know, if you think about it, you gotta be about it, or whatever. And it's him like calling out how in rap, if you talk about something, you have to be about it.
Yeah.
But relating it to like just the thought, and like, so it's complex, but it's controversial.
Yeah.
But he's calling out a very flawed fucking concept.
In society.
Exactly. And so like, I don't know, that's why I love that kind of
Have
shit.
you heard Vince Staples, that Flume song with Vince Staples?
What's the name of it? Probably
I'll
not,
show
though.
you actually right here after the podcast. I actually have to wrap it up because we are going to dip off. But anything else that we need to say pressing? Tonight we have a show that we're going to.
Yeah.
It's my show. High as fuck. That's what we do on Blunt Raps. We roll
Hell
a
yeah.
blunt and we talk music. And next week...
Oh! I'm excited next week because I don't think Jared showed you yet. I recorded a couple of little mashups of
Okay.
some of my old music.
Oh, good.
that I
Yes.
wrote.
Damn it, I'm pissed.
I know, that's
Yeah,
why
like
I'm
secret
super
sauce.
excited to show it to
Secret
you.
sauce.
Fucking
Some secret
angry.
sauce. Once we get it finished up, you get to see it. Not till then, though.
Okay, cool. As far as what else was I gonna say? I forget. But when I come back from Ohio, we're recording a lot of
Oh,
shit.
last thing. Who you dissing on your mom's house?
Oh, your mom's. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Okay, your
Yeah.
mom's.
I
house.
got you, dog.
What's
Oh
up with
my
that?
God, yo, okay, your mom's house
Fighting wolves
podcast.
now?
What? Your mom's house.
Podcast beefs.
no, it's so dope. It's so dope.
good.
Okay, so your mom's house podcast is like a hilarious podcast that I listen to, and fucking, it's two comedians. Tom Segura, probably seen him on Netflix. His shit's hilarious. And his wife Christina P. And fucking, they have a podcast, and I listen to it. It's a weekly thing, and fucking, they had this beef on last week's podcast about how Christina's not a ride or die bitch for Tom. Because
Most bitches ain't. Just so
he
you know.
said if he killed somebody, she said that she was gonna rat him out to the cops, to the authorities, and he was like, they had this whole debate about it.
Well, only if it was premeditated.
Only if it was premeditated, all this bullshit.
But still.
at the end, me and Jared were watching this the other day, and we were high as fuck. And at the very end of the whole clip thing, he says, "You watch, the fans are gonna have my back on this." Like, and then right then, like, I got the idea. I was like, I have unlimited beats, and I have like raps, so I just like modified
And I
some
have
raps. Yeah, so I added them. Added them into the modified raps, like into what the thing was, and just used some specific ones. High as shit. Threw it together, just something real quick, but submitted it to them, and they're always like reading off and playing music from fans, and they're always like reading like letters. So I wrote this like thing, this email to them, sent them the song, and I was like, yo, here's a diss track, and it's called Christine Diss Track. So it's a diss track to his wife for being not a ride or die and snitching on him if he kills somebody. And I'll show you the song after we end it, but or I'll put it on the fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Dope. Yeah, but it's a diss track to them, so hopefully the show comes out tomorrow. And 2 days after I submitted it, they put out just the clip of that argument. So tomorrow, if it comes out, fucking, they might play the song on the podcast. That should be fucking hilarious to watch, so we're gonna fucking wait for that to happen tomorrow. But the show's tonight.
Yeah.
That's it. Alright, let's wrap it up. Fucking music coming in. Outro.
Transform. All out.
So, real quick.